Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna take a look at the eMotion Ultra from LinknLink. We also have some door and window sensors from LinknLink. We're gonna connect them to Home Assistant and create a floor plan to make the presence visible. We start by opening up the eMotion Ultra, and the packaging is different, but the housing of the eMotion Ultra is the same as the Max and the Pro. But when we turn it around, there's a metal ring instead of a silicone ring. Interesting. Then we dig deeper and find the manual, a stand, temperature humidity sensor cable and some screws. The THS cable is the same as before, but then we come to the new stand.
Nice.
And it has magnets. This is such an improvement over the last version. I also got the door and window contact sensor. So we have the main unit and a magnet and a stencil with the maximum distance these parts should be placed apart. And finally we find the battery in the package. I did my test setup with the eMotion Ultra and I really love the new stand that comes with it. It's a real improvement. Now let's do the app setup. Add device, add new device, E-series hubs and sensors, radar presence sensor, and when the device is found, press next. When your phone's Bluetooth is on, press done. Then choose your Wi-Fi network and fill in the password. After that, press connect now. And after you subscribe to my channel, you can choose the room where it's located, give it a name and press save. Next step is to update the firmware. And last time we didn't reach the 100%. Let's see what it is this time. 29%. Press done. Alright, first sub device detected. Let's see what it is. Office. It's the presence sensor. Press save and continue. In this screen it is explained that the sub-device will not work if the master device is off. Alright, the first sub-device has been added. We now get the installation guide just as the eMotion Max and the eMotion Pro. We select how the eMotion Ultra is positioned and we confirm installation. The settings are just like the eMotion Max and the Pro. We can set the zones and different variables. Now we go back to the main device and install sub-device number 2, the brightness sensor. Select the room, give it a name. We get the same message about the sub-device and we're done. Since we know there's more, let's go for sub-device number 3, the THS cable, temperature and humidity sensor. Just like before, easy steps and it just works. It's also a Bluetooth low energy hub, so you can connect all your BLE accessories to it. Besides that, it's also an infrared blaster and you can control your TV, air conditioning and other infrared devices with this. Now let's add the door and window sensor. This process is the same as the other sub devices. You select it in the menu, you select the room where it is, then you give it a name and it's done. Now that we added it, let's see how responsive it is. The responsiveness is good. Let's connect it to Home Assistant and see what we can do with it. Go to the eMotion Ultra, select the 3 dots, and then choose MQTT connection. Next we need to fill in our username. And then we fill in our password. Of course, don't forget to fill in the IP address of your instance and the port number 1883. Once we are connected, we go to Home Assistant, Settings, Integrations, MQTT. And there you will find the new devices added. Here we have the door and window sensor. And there we have the eMotion Ultra with all the different entities. Okay, now we have everything in Home Assistant. Let's do the fun part. Let's go to my YouTube dashboard, and on the viewed presence detection we're going to add a picture element. Here we're going to remove the state badge and navigate to card options. Then I go to select media and choose manual entry. Here I type in the path to the image, and be careful, it's case sensitive. Now we can see the background image, and now we're going to add a conditional element. Let's give this a title and then add a condition. Entity state. Select the entity, in this case a presence in the woonkamer, and the state should be on. For this example I made dummy switches to simulate the presence sensor. In your case, or in a real case, you select the entity of the presence sensor and the state of the presence sensor is on. In the background we already added the image that should appear when the conditional state has been met, and now we're going to add the dummy switches to the view so we can toggle them. If you missed how to add the image to the conditional element, don't worry, we're gonna do that for every room on this floor plan. Okay, after we selected all the dummy switches, we press save and we're gonna test if it works. It does work, but we have to tweak something. The image is not shown in its correct size, so we're going to check this in the conditional element, and we're going to edit it, and we're going all the way down, and we're going to add a line with 100%. Now when we press save, go to done, then we're going to check if the button works. And it seems to work fine right now. Okay, now it's time to add the rest of the elements of this floor plan, and it's basically rinse and repeat. Conditional element, give it a name, add a condition, find the entity and define the state. And then we add the image element, do the manual entry, a small reminder that it's case sensitive, press save, and before we forget, add the line with 100%. After this, we only have to add one more conditional element to finish this floor plan. The final conditional element is the shed, and we're going to do the entity state, find the entity, the state it should trigger on, and then add the image with the right path where the image is. Let's test the buttons and let's see if I missed something. Yep, I missed a line with 100%. So we're going to edit that, go to the image properties, add the line with 100%. Okay, now we fix this. Let's see how this works. And instead of the buttons, if the presence is detected, it should light up green. When the presence is off, it should go back to normal. And since we have more rooms than only the ground floor, let's add another floor. But this time I'll explain a faster way to get it all done. First we have to add the picture element card and the path to the background image. Again, it's important this path and name is case sensitive. Now that we have the background image, we are going to add the element, conditional element again. But instead of filling it in, we go back and add another conditional element. And we do that a couple of times until we have 5 conditional elements based on the number of rooms you have on this floor plan. When we have 5, we go back to the first conditional element, give it a name, add the condition, search for the entity, and give the state it should trigger on. Then add the image element, select from media, choose manual entry, give in the path and image name, and select submit. Before we forget again, go all the way down, add the line width 100%. Then we press save and go back into edit mode. Then we go to show code editor. And in the code editor, we're going to select the first conditional element. After we did this, we're going to choose to copy this code, select second conditional element, and paste the code. Now we have to change some minor things in the code we pasted, but this method is much faster than doing it all in the GUI. Now that we changed this conditional element, we're going to do this 3 more times for the rest of the conditional elements. And in the meantime, if you like my work, please consider to subscribe and like this video. And after we added all the conditional elements, we're going to add the dummy switches to test if they work. And while you see me do this in the background, I'm also working on a video that explains you how to make the images you need to make these floor plans work. That video will be out soon, and I hope you subscribe and get notified when that video comes out. In the meantime, we finished adding the dummy switches, and we're gonna press done and test if they work. They seem to work just fine, and now let's add the last floor. Now that we finished adding everything, let's take a look what it does. And I'm not suggesting you put a presence sensor in every room of your house, but it is a possibility. You can also use the presence sensors on cameras to do the same and to trigger it. We can also take it a step further and divide the rooms into different zones and use the presence sensors to identify each zone and create conditional elements on that zones. You can make it as big or small as you want, and that's the nice thing about Home Assistant. But in our case, let's just add one more thing, and that's the door sensor. And with the Home Assistant automations, you can let the door sensor trigger all kinds of automations, but I just want it to be visible in this floor planner. And so we add a state icon and connect it to the entity. On this floor plan, the icon is really small, so we're gonna scale it up, and we're gonna do that by adding a line with the code transform scale 3 3. And what that does is multiply the width and height by 3. And after saving, we're gonna test how this looks. We need the door sensor for that, so let me get that.
Wow!
And after this, it's time to give my honest opinion. The eMotion Ultra is a real step up from the eMotion Max. It comes standard with the THS cable, and it has a greater detection distance than the eMotion Max. Furthermore, if we take a look at the new stand, this is the best upgrade I've seen so far. Most important thing to note is that if you just want the presence sensor, this one is on the high-end part and not the cheapest one. But if you want a presence sensor with an infrared blaster, light sensor and temperature humidity sensor, this is the one to buy. By saying that, we come to the end of the video, but not before I thank my Patreons. You can always consider to join them, links are in the description below. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. Feel free to reach out to me, but for now, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next.